I'm Fran.
I'm Danielle.
These are our coffees.
Let's talk.
So Danielle,
Yes.
we just finished recording our other episode, but we figured we would jump right back on because there's been a lot that's happening with real estate. So I thought maybe we could talk about just kind of like what's going on that people are not hearing about.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, I will tell you that I have come across numerous short sales.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody knows what a short sale is.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep it brief. Short sale. You owe $300,000. Your home is only worth $250,000. You want to sell it because you're upside down. You talk to the bank agrees to sell it at a loss for what it's actually valued at. So that is a short sale. Okay.
And we are seeing a big influx in that. And I think the major reason why is what happened during the COVID market, right?
Well, people are notorious for getting in over their head.
Yeah.
Hence parenting.
Yep. I said yes before I heard what you said.
and then we're really stupid because Mother Nature made us forget what delivering those babies were like, and they're like, we'll have another one. And then am I wrong? And then you go into labor and you're like, oh crap. That's what that felt like. But I digress. So so people are notorious for getting in over their head. So that's what happened. People are like, yeah, I'll pay whatever. Yeah. They want the house. And I 100% get that. There are other ways to securing the contract other than just offering a shit ton of money.
Right. Yeah. So now that has already passed, I mean, the majority of the time, the values in your homes are going to increase. But again, that's dependent upon how you take care of the home. So if you do become upside down because you spend too much money on your home and then you get in over your head and you didn't really take care of your property and it's not worth what you paid for previously, that's where you get yourself in a pickle. And that's where we are right now.
But there's a way out. There's a way out. And there are people that we do a lot of these in the office. That's actually how I got my start in this business. So there are people that can help you. Us.
Yeah.
Of course. I'm talking about us. So reach out because you don't have to. Don't be afraid of it. Because the worst thing you want is foreclosure.
Right.
Because if you go to foreclosure, this is the way it works. The bank can still come after you for several years. And even if they foreclose, whatever, if they don't get what you owe, they will come after you for that amount. Yeah. In a short sale, that does not happen. So say you owe $300 and you sell it for $250, the bank is forgiving that other $50, right? And sometimes other liens that are on the property as well. You haven't paid your medical bills in 10 years. We can probably forgive that as well because it's a hardship. Right. So there's a lot you can do. Right. So that's short sale. That's what we're seeing.
Yeah, we're seeing that a lot. We're still seeing a big influx of people paying way over asking
and
price.
Cash.
Yeah, and
cash. So I think you're going to see that dwindle a little bit just because of what's going on with the market. So like the younger generation was not afraid to pull out their 401k or a parent was pulling from their 401k to help the kid with the markets kind of being so
competitive.
Oof. Well, not I'm talking about the your 401k, right? So the markets are so cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs that people are not necessarily that quick to pull that out.
That's true.
So that trend may dwindle down a little bit. Yeah.
But can I get a little pat on my back because I just yesterday won a multiple offer situation for my client.
That was an FHA buyer, correct?
No, chat.
Chat. Well, same thing. Yeah. So but not cash.
So no, not cash.
So again,
pat on my back. But yeah, we're seeing a lot of that. Another thing that people think they have to do to win in multiple offer situations is to forego inspections.
Yeah, don't do that unless you have to.
Unless you
absolutely have to, or you are really secure.
You know someone that's really good. Like you have a lot of hookups. You got Dan the roof guy. You got Rob the plumber. You got who did I already say?
I don't know.
You got
roof guy,
Ben
plumber.
the carpenter. If you have friends that can do all of these things,
I got a guy.
And,
in other words, if you're that person,
and you have sufficient funds, and you're just swimming with a whole bunch of excess money, and you don't care. Go for it.
Yeah, but it's still that's so dangerous,
right? For the average buyer,
just for people who don't know, if you're on city water, city sewer, then there's a little less of an issue because it's really just the home itself, right? However, if you are on a well and septic, a septic system to redo is
about 30,000. Like you have to have that as your base.
Yeah, that's what you have to put in the budget is 30 grand to redo a septic. Like I don't have that kind of money.
Right.
If I did, it would be invested in a home on an island somewhere. For sure. For sure.
So while we're seeing that a lot, it's still not something that we would recommend to the average buyer.
I mean, I always say, like, I will give people the option. Like, this is what we're seeing. This is what we're seeing in winning other contracts. But you don't feel like you have to do it. And I am not necessarily advising you to do that. So, and I will tell you too, and this is a practice of mine, and I would think everybody would do this. If I do not win a bid, okay, I reach out to the listing agent and I ask why. I'm not asking you because I want to know how much crazy money some crazy person spent on this house. I'm asking you because I want to be able to take that information and share it with my buyer so that I can help my buyer to be more comfortable or be more competitive rather. Right. So if you said, okay, well, the offer that won was a conventional financing or cash financing or had no inspections, then I can go to my buyer and say, listen, these are the bids that are beating you every single time. So maybe we consider adjusting something in your financing or so that we can have you be more competitive. Right. And I will also share this, which a lot of people do not know, and I don't know how they don't know it. An agent has the right to share what the offer is or multiple offers are, as long as they have permission to do so from the seller. So if seller Susie so-and-so says, yes, tell them how much these other offers are, then you may absolutely do so. And the reason why you do that is because the other person might beat the offers. So why wouldn't you share? I'm sure other people have other opinions, but
yeah.
I will get off my soapbox.
I'll say another situation that we are seeing a lot more are solar panels.
Oh, yes, the solar trend.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So we're getting a lot of properties that already have solar panels and either our buyers have to work with the solar company to then take over that lease. They have to review the contract. They have X amount of days to review the contract and say that they're okay with those terms in order to proceed with the purchase. On the seller side, have you dealt with any sellers that have contracts?
I have dealt with solar in a couple instances, and I will tell you, it's not a good time. Yeah. It's not something I enjoy doing. And it's different no matter which state you're in. So in Connecticut, your buyer can apply and buy out essentially the lease that they have for the solar panels. Excuse me. But in other states, it's not like that. Right. So I have a friend who just helped her dad sell his house in Florida. He had to buy out the remainder of his lease in order to sell. Yeah, so the new owners take on nothing, which is crazy. That's like an $80,000 payout depending on where you are in the lease. And another thing too is your buyers have to apply. So you get through the whole so you get under contract, you do your inspections, you appraisal, blah, 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 you put out all that money, you put in your application with the solar company, you don't get approved. Right. So there's nothing, and here's the problem, there's nothing wrong with the house, right? So now your listing agent is forced to put that back on the market because they don't get approved, and now it looks like it's a house that's sitting in the market or there's something wrong with it, when in reality it's just a solar. And you can, listen, we can write that in the remarks, but when it comes right down to it, it went back on the market. Right. Why? Yeah.
So, it can be a little troublesome. It's a little, it's kind of like working through legal jargon that, it's just so tricky and it kind of puts my brain in a twist.
But that's why it's important to have an agent that knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, don't just,
But it's definitely becoming more common. So.
Yeah. Solar, I see it everywhere. So we have a couple of new builds near us, 4 houses they put in. 2 of them have closed. Those 2 have solar already. I don't understand it. I think it's hideous. And you can't bank your own solar either. Right. Which I think if I'm generating the energy, I want to use it for me. It's just me being selfish. Right. But
that's all right. You can be selfish.
So what else are we seeing?
I think that's like the major things that I'm seeing a lot recently.
Yeah.
I am seeing a lot of homes being marketed as is. Like they're being put on the market saying this is going to be as is.
Yep. And it's and then you see the phrase inspections are for informational purposes only. The as is really,
I think it's,
do we want to debunk that?
Yes, I think we should. So it gets thrown around a lot.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, if something comes up on the inspection that's a safety hazard, it has to be dealt with.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you have to put it back on the market and disclose this.
Right.
So those are things that we are going to still ask for if something comes up on inspection, even if it is an as-is sale. So as-is should pretty much, like, let's change that verbiage to, I'm just not going to nickel and dime you over every single thing.
Yeah.
If it's a safety hazard, we're going to
talk about it.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
And here's the thing too. I always advise my clients that that's fine. It's as is, but that doesn't mean you cannot walk away.
Absolutely.
So when you discover the true condition of the home, you can walk away. So on that note, that's what we're kind of like seeing.
Yeah.
If there's anything else, if you're a realtor, I have realtors on my page. Like please, by all means, because the more information that we can all work, I don't know why there's a stigma that like realtors can't work. What?
This is what I'm seeing lately.
What?
For so long, I feel like, okay, so we were like realtors. We were very communicative.
Yes.
Previously.
Yes.
And then I feel like during COVID and with the whole thing that happened recently with the changing of commissions, we stopped talking to each other.
Yeah, and I don't like that.
And I think we're getting back to it.
I hope so.
I think I have a good feeling.
I feel like in real estate, we should all be one giant team.
Absolutely.
All be one giant
We're
team.
all
Like
helping
just
each
because we're from one, I'm bringing the buyer to what you have listed, and we vice versa.
Both have the same end goal of getting a smooth transaction.
Yeah.
So let's communicate. And I really do see us getting back there.
There was a time when you didn't necessarily pick up the phone, and now I will say that realtors in late that I've had conversations with, they have been actual conversations. And you're right, it's so nice.
It's so much better.
Why can't we all just get along?
Yeah. So that's something that I'm seeing. And I know
that's
that really only goes for the fellow realtors that are watching this, but
that's okay.
I think it's great.
But it's good to listen. It's good to know that your realtors behind the scenes are not fighting with each other. So I think it's good for everybody to know too. Like, we're working together. We're gonna get you there. Let us help you. Please don't do it on your own. No. So that's what we're seeing, guys.
Yes.
So on that note, I'm Fran.
And I'm Danielle.
Thanks for watching.
See you next time.
Subscribe to my channel.